Oh man, everywhere cast. Watch today protest by Nigeria Labour Congress and also hear the message President Labour Congress sent to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Please do not forget to leave your opinion below the comment section. See you guys on my next video. Peace out.
I can see everything. Are not aware that protest is not the same thing as strike. We want to make a case, that Nigerians can no longer breathe. That's the message we brought here. That we have been suffering, and a slave has nothing to lose than his chains. It has gotten to our neck, and we can't breathe again. We have waited for this long to see whether salvation will come. Salvation is not forthcoming. We waited with enthusiasm, great enthusiasm, to listen to Mr. President, to bring succor to all of us, so that from their day, Nigerians will celebrate, move into the streets, and hail our president. But I think we didn't get that. We decided to use Nigerians as our barometer to see the response to Mr. President's speech. But that wasn't what we expected. Almost 2 months after, the subsidy was removed and cost of living went up. There is no concrete move to equally ameliorate the sufferings. No worker has gotten 1 naira extra, and we expected to come to work. We are surprised that people are saying if we go on strike or if we protest, it will paralyze the economy. The Nigerian state, through their governors, have even called for sit at home. In most states, they have asked them to come to work for only 2 days. In some, they ask them to come to work for only 3 days. What does that mean? Is it not sit at home? Is it not a strike? It's an official strike to tell people not to come to work. And in industrial relations, strike means both workers staying at home and lockout by management. When management says don't come to work, management, or they lock you, they get for you, management has done what is called lockout. And it is described anywhere, even in our statute books, as a strike, initiated by management. Now, gentlemen, we are here to tell them that there is no injunction against our protest on 617 pump price of petroleum products. None. The injunction they got on 520, if you remember, it was on the basis of which we negotiated and got an agreement that has not been implemented to date. So any discussion, we have not started any discussion on 617. If the federal government refuses to discuss 617, we discuss other options. The labor centers will review their stand and look at further options, because the suffering inflicted by 520 is doubled with the suffering inflicted by 617. So, comrades, we cannot use the medicine meant to cure 520 to cure 617.
Yes, sir.
Never. Whether the drug in legal palace or even in pharmaceutical palace to cure, a drug to cure an ailment of 520 and 517, it will not work. If you give somebody 100 milligrams, which was meant for 520, for him to treat 617, will it work? No. It is not the same. And it's important for our people to know it. And when you say you went to court and the judge pronounces that status quo remains, ante bulum, it then means that every party should maintain the status quo. Yes. Now we are fighting. You beat me, I beat you. The court said, no, stop fighting. And the following day, somebody beat you again, one of the parties. Is the person not violating the law?
Yes. It's the content of court.
There is no way a court will give order based on 520 for the 2 parties to maintain status quo. And then one party now increase it again. Whereas the cause of the problem ab initio was the increase. So you can see that as NLC and TUC, we are law abiding. And we'll continue to engage with the government and their representatives until we find a solution. But let me say this, comrades. A day after announcement of 617, some people went to National Assembly to protest that they support the increase. Comrades, it will be illegal for anybody to say that the other group should not protest, to say they don't support it. Highly immoral, and it will amount to having double rules for people from the same country. Yesterday, if you move around Abuja here, you saw some people carrying placards, we support Aswaju. If people want to carry placards to say we don't support, are you not supposed to allow them? However, our struggle is just for our living. Yes. We cannot continue to suffer this way. We are not engaged in any political thing. Yes. So we need to explain this. Now, Mr. President said that he's discussing with Labour on minimum wage. Comrades, from first meeting, we placed a caveat that minimum wage is a law passed by National Assembly. And a law passed by National Assembly will expire by next year, and it will be reviewed. What we took to the federal government was a wage award, comrades. And we agreed that from the 70s, when Udaja award came, the wage award is allowed in our system. Early this year, the federal government gave 40% to some of their public servants as an award to cushion the effects of COVID-19. Now that you have removed subsidy, we need an award, negotiable award, to cushion the effects on it. So that by next year, we do minimum wage. Is that not so? No. But they said that we are negotiating minimum wage. Let us explain to all Nigerian workers we are not negotiating minimum wage. Even the wage committee that was set up by the government and Labour, even the wage committee that was set up by government and Labour, the committee has not been inaugurated today. So it will be wrong to say we are negotiating when the committee has not started work as of today. So, comrades, let us put a disclaimer to this. We have never met at the wage committee to discuss anything about wages. Comrades, this is very important, and it's good for all of us to see it from that angle. Come on, I go come there.
Forever.
You know, history and Labour is a continuum. Labour is a continuum. If the blood of Labour is in you, there's no way you will hear of this, and you will not be here. Comrades, thank you very much. Now, I've mentioned one of the comments. Mr. President equally said that they are working on providing 200 metric tons of grains to households. The report available to us shows that what we have as a national, in our national guard or in our warehouse, the capacity is 60,000 metric tons. So if the capacity is 60,000 metric tons, it's our capacity. I don't know where we have warehouse the excess of 200 metric tons of grains to be shared. 200,000 metric tons. Whereas what we have capacity is 60,000 metric tons. Now that is where that one stops. Comrades, we have not agreed on anything. The CNG policy, which we started from the time of my predecessor and the time of Silva, we agreed that the federal government will convert about 1 million vehicles within a period of 3 months, and that the Central Bank of Nigeria will provide 250 billion. As at now, I learned that the federal government, the Central Bank, whether they have provided 60 billion or whatever, we don't know where it is. So, if they have done that, and now what the president is telling us is that they have made provision for 100 billion naira for conversion of 125,000 vehicles, and that this will last for a period of 18 months, a year and 6 months. If you do this for a year and 6 months, Nigerians would have finished, they would have gone to their ancestors. What we are looking at is immediate solution. And if you look at the rate they brought this from 100 billion naira for 125,000 vehicles, the conversion rate should then be 800,000. Those that made a presentation to Labour and other areas, Mr. President in his speech said he has saved 1 trillion. So who do we believe now? Do we believe Mr. President or them? We believe Mr. President. Yes. Let them bring that 1 trillion. Yes. So that we'll now look at some of these palliatives on how to handle it. Comrades, we did not agree with them on the proposal they are making that they will share 88,000 for every household for 12 million people. What they brought to us before was 50 million people. And we say that the Bureau of Statistics provided that 133 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor. And there's no way they want to pay only 50 million people. But they have reduced it to now 12 million households. Comrades, on and on and on. So that is why we have come here to make a statement that even if we get any palliative, we get anything, the Federal Minister of Justice will be a partaker. The Solicitor General will be a partaker. Whatever we are doing now is for benefit of all Nigerians. If we get the CNG option working, all of them will use it to feed their tanks. Where have we committed offense, Congress? Is it in saying that we should be governed well, or that the poor must breathe? Since that time, we have gotten all manner of harassment. As we are gathered here, people from Maraba and other areas, the security agencies block them from joining this protest. From all over Abuja. Will that stop us? No. Are we going to be humiliated? No. Are we going to be intimidated? No. Nigerian workers, Nigerian unions, they are pan-Nigerian organizations. We are more patriotic than even the military. As far as Nigeria is concerned. Our history is there. It was when Nigerian labor unions joined the struggle for political independence through the models of this world that Nigeria got political independence. Oh, yes. The Azikiwes of this world, Tafawa Balewas, Aminu Kano, Awolowo, cannot move without listening to Imodu. Never happened. That was how they fought for political independence. They fought as partners. They fought as Nigerians. They didn't fight as we and them. Never. We are patriotic, we are united, and we have offered ourselves to offer the best of advice and for us to relate to know how Nigeria will move forward. Nigeria is at the brink. Poverty is so much in the land, everywhere. We are doing this rally to protect the government. Because if we don't do this rally to protect the government and people resort to self-help, it will not be in the best interest of Nigeria. As part of our patriotic commitment, we are doing this rally to maintain a united, indivisible Nigeria. This protest is done everywhere in Nigeria today to show the unity of purpose, to show the unity of our sufferings, to show that every worker in the country is suffering, to show that Nigeria is one. That is how this protest is being done. So for some time now you'll be hearing this governor say I will give this governor say I will do this. What the governors are saying is not a product of collective bargaining. It's not a product of collective engagement. It is an attempt to break our wings. Now you discover that even with the little fallout from the subsidy, is being shared for the people up there. Part of the committees we formed was a committee on cost of governance. As we talk now, they have not agreed for the committee to sit. How can you run a nation like this with bogus cost of governance for the leaders? And that is why no matter what you save on the subsidy, they will add it to the people up there. They will add it to our people that are up there. They will add it to people who are leading us while the poor are suffering. The proceeds made from our suffering is being channeled to the bourgeois, and they are continuing to enjoy. Ordinarily, if we are told that they were sending about 400 billion every month on subsidy. 2 months after, we should be thinking about a profit of about 1 trillion, which should have been channeled to reduce the suffering.